Don't know are the Real Things podcast. Hey yo!
Yes, I blessings and welcome. Blessings, blessings, my people. Big up on yourself.
I'm starting to believe I can make a change in my reality. And you, the one I looked up to, is no longer a thing I need in my life. I wish you well. I wish you peace. I hope that we'll find harmony.
Hello, 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 hello. How are you doing on this here beautiful, beautiful Friday? My people, I sound a little bit distant. Uh-huh. Microphone check 1, 2. Yes, my people, how are you doing? How are you doing? It's kind of like the weather is kind of limbo on my side. It's been raining on and off since last night, and I myself really didn't get much rest. Sometimes you have those kind of nights where you're just restless. Yeah, man, restless. It's just one of those days. But any which way, I want to welcome you to the podcast today, and for those of you especially who are here for the first time, welcome to the pod. Please, I saw some new subscribers. Please, let me just take the time out to, you know, tell you guys, please, please, please. First of all, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Um, please take some time out to get familiar with the content. I can't stress enough. Take some time out, guys, new subscribers, take some time out to get familiar with the content that I do on the podcast, because if you come in on one, like for instance, you watch one video and you subscribe to the one video, there's a tendency to not watch anything else, and and especially anything that they're not familiar with. So take some time out, guys, to familiarize yourself with the playlists. I do content on I do different stories. I do different stories. You understand? So we normally, it's Africa village stories that we cover mostly. That segment gets a lot of my attention here on the podcast. But I normally branch off every now and then and cover different stories. When I say cover, I mean, it's a reaction style podcast, and you understand, in order for us not to make it too drab and that we're just being monotonous in any way, we go out and we travel to different places.
I wish you good. I wish you well. I hope that this is our farewell.
Yes, so as I was saying, guys, just be mindful that we do different content. That is for those of you who just landed, and for um and are not familiar with what happens here on the podcast. Also, for my returning subscribers, supporters, channel members, moderators, everybody all bundled and nicely together. Say I love you from end to end. My love is my love for you is from end to end. All right, my people. And thank you for your unconditional love and support. Because every time I drop something, you guys come over and support. And let me tell you the honest truth, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thanks.
I wish you well. Ooh, 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 ooh.
All right, my people. So we don't want to drag it on too much. Today is going to be a very short one. Um, Kind of unplanned. I wanted to go live, but yeah, it's one of those days. I didn't, I didn't put, one and two together. I wanted to just go live, chit chat with my people for Friday morning live, but I decided to, why not just drop a video instead and leave it right there, right there. Yeah. So, guys, before I, before I go into anything, I made an announcements. I made a post on my community tab. Um, what you say is 2 days ago or 1 day ago, maybe I don't know. 2 days ago, actually, about something that we've been searching for, asking for, you know, asking for help on, and you guys show up and showed out. Yes. So don't mind what you're seeing here. Don't mind the this is not the right how you call it now, stick or whatever. It's not the word. But guys, she's here. She is here. This was not what I had in mind, but this, I listened to advice after speaking to someone who deals with this, with photography. They recommended to drop the idea of the other camera that we had. So our camera is here, and we will be back with our regular Chat and Walk series. All right. So, we will be back. So here she is. This is our Osmo Action 4. I really, really, really was not into the action camera thing because I'm not a vlogger, so to speak. But when you're doing a sit down content creation kind of thing, yeah, these are for people who are on the road. But then I remembered, honestly, after I listened to the advice of a friend, I remembered, but wait, I have a playlist. I do get on the road. And besides, that was one of the main idea, for me to be able to, whether rain or shine, I could go where I want to go without, hesitation. And thank God, thank God. The old one that I had, the old camera that I had was broken. And here we are, guys. So, for those of you who showed up and showed out, I can't thank you enough. Thanks, guys. It shows the love and dedication for this podcast to give it the tools that we need to hit the ground running. And indeed, we are here. This is not the right tripod. It's not. But this is something that I had. This is a thing that I had before, and I just do something makeshift. It is what it is. You have to turn, sometimes you have to turn your hands to make fashion, and that's exactly what it is. So here we go, my people. It comes with a cage. It came with a cage, a camera cage, that hard shell that goes around it and whatnot. But for me, you have to take that cage off. And to me, that cage is when you're doing extreme creation, like bike riding, yada yada blah blah. I'm not doing none of those things, skateboarding, blah blah. No. So this is for us. When we go out, when we do our beach moves, when we do our regular chat and walk. The only sat down part of this how you call it now, this tripod, is that it cannot stand, so it's just a trigger that you this a trigger. It's just a handle that you hold. So if I want to stop and rest it down, yeah, we in a problem. But I have another thing. I have another tripod, but it's not for that. It's not for that. It's one that you put, the ones that you put the phone in. Anyway, long story short, my people, we are here, and yeah, we've crossed that bridge, and thank God and thank you, the supporters who came out and showed up. Yeah, man. Yes, yes, yes.
I knew I had to make a change, discovering my light just outside of your shade.
All right, my people. So when you come here to the podcast, I want you to feel as relaxed as possible. I want you to take your time and watch, move around your house, do what you're doing, and listen in. This is not something that it's not the conventional type of podcast. I'm somebody who, always in easy mode, because whenever somebody comes where I am and have very high levels of energy, it actually makes me nervous. So when you come here expected to be relaxed, and that is why I play my music. I mean, my music choice may not be for everybody, but it is what it is. Welcome to flex your brain. So you will get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. That's just me. You understand? So, guys, today I wanna veer off into something that um I've never really touched before this type of topic here on the podcast, but it is what it is. As I say, we will cover different stories. We will dissect different stories from time to time. Yes, that's what we are going to do here today on the podcast is go in uh go in a different direction. So we want to take a trip over to Jamaica and also over into the US of A for a little bit. We want to tap into the ongoing saga in America. My people, some harrowing stories. Some harrowing stories. I think everybody, the world right now is talking about the ongoing situation, don't it? Yeah, the world it's trending. It's trending. It's trending. So what happened is I came across a video which I don't want to play it here. It's not my content. Really. It's another Jamaican vlogger's thing that he was talking about showing different people's experiences, but I will just comment on it. And the reason why I don't want to play it, actually, it has too many different people's too many other content creators information in the one video. So that is a double whammy for me if I ever play it here because it's everybody's content compiled. He was just doing a reaction based on what was happening. Anyway, let me get to the story. As I say, relax and let us reason. So, um, in the video, it was giving like everybody was giving their side of experiences or other people's experience based on what is happening right now with the ongoing administration in the US of A. Now, when it comes to Jamaican, you know, it 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 it's crazy because you know how Jamaican social media is gonna come out broad and bold. Brawling. Brawling is the word. They're gonna come out bold and brawling about the saga. Some of them they're too hilarious. But in this case, I find it's not. It's not. This is very, very, very troubling news because even a relative of mine was talking to me yesterday. That is actually what drew my attention to that video. Honestly, them going listening to your conversation, and then once you're done, they're gonna show you something from your conversation. You understand? If you listen, if you're talking on the phone, whatever, they are going to show you something based on your conversation that you just be had. Anyway, so after talking to the relative, and the relative was showing me her vibes, I went to my TV and I was playing something on the TV showing me where this gentleman doing the reaction with the contents in it. Guys, no, it is said that some people would have your passport like a Jamaican passport or whatever country that you're from. We're using Jamaica as a reference because that's the case in point. No, you have your Jamaican passport and you're going into the country and you still have a passport for another country. You have dual citizenship or how many citizenship you want to have. It is said that um in the video that I watched, it is said that um once you reach to the port of entry, you're now asked, or when even upon exiting America, you're being asked to sign some kind of declaration form or something. You understand? No, when everything was all said and done and the dust was clear, it is said that based on allegedly, because I don't really hear anybody on the news saying this. This is all bloggers now trying to give other people heads up based on their experiences or other people's experiences. So when you get to the airport, if you're leaving, they're asking you to sign some kind of form. So the people are out there saying, do not in no um way or form, do not be signing anything that you don't have an understanding of. Because once you exit the country and you exit on your Jamaican passport, or you wherever, if you come from Bulgaria, Bolivia, Botswana, wherever you come from, when you exit on the passport, eh? Once you exit on that passport, if you exit on the American passport, sorry, you exit on the American passport and then you return when you go to your country, when you go to your destination, you get there and you use your country's original passport because you're still a citizen of that country. You never give up your citizenship. So when you reach home now, you're using the home passport, but you just left America on American passport. But when you get to your country now, you're flashing your country passport through immigration. Now that is a problem because when you return to America and you know you've been asked, okay, blah 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 blah, where was the trip? How long was your trip? You're gonna be asked these questions. Yeah. So once you cannot show that stamp in an American passport that okay, I went here, 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 and here, and you're an American citizen now. Now that is where allegedly that is where the problem is coming in. No, I don't, like I said, I don't know if there's any truth to this, but I could understand. I really get it. I get it, people. I get it. I get it. I do get it because um for me, I always want to have my Jamaican passport up and ready. I mean, them can't do me nothing really when we reach my country because if you look at the passport, any immigration officer look at the passport and them see your country of birth. It's in your passport where you're born in there. So even if me have this year 1 year, that day 1 day, or whatever passport that I have from whatever other country, um, it's all of them still state your place of birth. So them gonna know that she probably gets it by a marriage, or she probably are a citizen by naturalization. Well, marriage and naturalization, same thing. Because you have to naturalize any which way. Anyway, you get the gist. You get what I'm trying to say, people. Basically, I always, in the back of my mind, I always said to myself, but um, before I had any other passport, before I had any other passport, okay, so I've taken on um the citizenship or based on marriage, right? Okay. So before I possessed any other passport, I would have always gone in my country with my Jamaican passport. But when I became a citizen of another country, I was asking myself, should I, if I ever have to go back to, my country, should I use other citizen my other passport, or should I use my Jamaican? But I always have it ready. I always have it ready. Question, I question, I question. I don't really know the implications other than maybe you may be treated a little bit different because them see that you have another citizenship. But you're a Jamaican by birth. Are they gonna give you like 3 months in the country? I don't know. I've never experienced it. Like I said, I've never gotten the opportunity to actually use it, you know? So I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, so as I was saying, um, I really don't know honestly what would happen in an event that I would have gone through the ports and using um a passport of another country. I don't know. I really don't know. Sorry, guys, for my hands across the screen. I'm trying to fix something here. I really don't know. So, um, the people now are out there warning Jamaicans. Um, when you go, when you exit the country, when you exit the United States of America, guys, please, 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 that's what they're warning, Jamaicans, that when they exit and they're leaving, please be mindful that there may be a possibility. I think they were saying that somebody lost their citizenship. There was something there. Somebody lost something. Um, somebody a passenger a pass up and actually that person was an African, and word has it on the street that the person lost their citizenship upon returning. Their documents were taken and was told to prove otherwise. They have to come in to prove otherwise. How did they obtain this American document if you're still using traveling into your country with your original country of birth, with your original country's document, and you're an American citizen? Hey, it is a serious matter though. It's a serious matter, and you can't really criticize too much when it comes to you can't, like, when it comes to immigration and securing borders and these kind of things. Sometimes you can't really like, when it comes to security, don't for 1 second, you know overly question certain things, certain actions. But was something this one here was something that was always, bugging my mind. It was always bugging my mind, like, what would happen, based on the fact that um I've never experienced it. I've never done it. You understand? I always wonder what would happen. Should I walk with the two if I was ever in that position, or should I just go with the one? hmm Especially if they're visas. Um, I always, especially if they're the one that has visas, even though you may not need a visa, but just for a little more weight. I always question these things. I'm telling you the honest truth, guys. I do. I always do. But like I say, what I'm trying to say, that when it comes to securing your country's border, sometimes a lot of things, when you get to the play, the border, a lot of questions you will be asked. Like, I was watching this vlogger, Itchy Boots. I do watch her content a lot. And to tell you how one can be pressured when you upon entering. I don't know if anyone of you guys watch Itchy Boots, but when the way how she travels when she gets to a border, oh my god, the amount of things that she has to go through. For me, I would have given up 20 times. Believe me, I would have given up 20 times, because I can't take pressure. I can't take. I mean, we've seen a lot of bloggers' frustration. Look, for instance, let me use you remember when Demongo went to Singapore? My God. You remember when Demongo went to Singapore and how they treated her? Oh my, you remember when even Marwa went to Japan? When Marwa went to where was it was Thailand? Mm, can't even remember if it was Thailand. Marwa went to, you remember this video that he did, and he was saying that he was supposed to meet with somebody at the airport, or to pick up somebody from the airport. And then the next we saw of that, it was him on his way out of the country, or was out of the country. And it was after he told us that he was very much harassed and he left. Hey, like, for me, it would have been something else. Like, I don't have that tenacity. And furthermore, like, I can't endure too much of those kind of things. I can't. I really can't. I don't like pressure, especially if you know that you're honest, you're very honest in what you're saying, you're truthful, and they still will cross question you and push you and force you and poke you. I really get discouraged a lot. And because of that, I tend to stay away from a lot of, up and down, up and down. For me, in my days, like um pre-pandemic, I was all over. It was work. It was work. It was work related. But thank God, I've never really. I remember one time, I think it was my first. Let me tell you how I was profiled. I was profiled in leaving the British Virgin Islands and heading into the Dominican Republic. I was profiled. I didn't realize that my boarding pass had a particular letter. Do you know that you can actually, let me tell you, you can actually check to know if you are like when I say profiled, I mean you will be subjected to stop and search every port that you go to from the inception to every port that you stop from your big from when you embark your first flight straight down to when you disembark your final flight, you will be profiled. Now, um let me tell you, these things are coded. They are coded, and on your on I think it's on your but I didn't know that time. I didn't know, and I was just surprised. Why is it that I'm being checked in this particular way, like spotting up, like they call me first when I was about to board the flight. When I cleared, like through immigration in Virgin Islands, um, I was called out of the line. I was called out of the line, and the security said to me, "Hey, I know you well. Don't feel any way. But your name is on this paper, and I'm just doing my job." But I know you're a hardworking person because for me, I stayed with one company for over 20 plus years from the ground up. Yeah. Just to give you a little idea. From the ground up. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I'm looking for something to um hold on. I was trying to find the information for you guys. How do you know that you will be checked at every airport location? What to look for on your boarding pass? Hold on, my people. I don't even I don't even know if I said it the right way. No, this is not the way. I did not ask the right way, and I think I'm using the wrong thing. I'm using the wrong method to search. Security have your boarding pass, ID with the TSA, blah blah blah. No, this is not what I'm looking for. There is a letter. There are letters that they use. I think if you have A in any part of your boarding, I think it's A for any part of your boarding on any part of your boarding pass. If it has A on it, that simply means that I don't want to be giving you guys no wrong information. I think if it has A on it, it simply means that you're subjected to all stops. You will be profiled in the same way, like from when you just before you board your first flight. Can't remember. I don't want to give wrong information, but it is. It is, and I've seen it. So when, when for me, when that happened, that was the only time I can remember that I ever experienced anything As frightening as that, I'm like, okay. But then I calmed myself and I said, you know what? I'm carrying a Jamaican passport. And at that time, I'm carrying a Jamaican passport. And with this, you know, the first thing that probably come into their mind, hey, 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 where does she get all this money to be going? Ha, ha, ha. Why is she coming here? What's she coming here to do? All these things. But for me, when you're going, when you're traveling and it's work related, the company, the travel service that deals with most company will have a travel service, or they'll have somebody in the department that does that, in a department that does take care of all of that. So for me, there is this travel service that we would call, and they would we would update them on wherever we're going, or the company would alert them, and they would just put everything together. The only thing that they didn't do and they couldn't do was the hotel, because it's a conference. It was a conference, and when it's conference, you know that us as one of the franchise. Okay, so I worked with franchise for years, so on the island. So those the people would have those companies would normally book one hotel. They would take a floor or two. It depends on the amount of people that they have, and they would be responsible for hotels. Yeah, and ground transportation when you get to your destination. So other than that, and in some cases, the travel service would have had to deal with the airport transfer. It depends. It depends. It depends. Eh? Because some places, the hotels like Marriott's, those hotels would have like every 30 to 45 minutes a airport pickup that takes you from the airport um to directly to their hotel. Pick up and drop off, because they take people to the airports too. It depends. Yeah, so I had all, luckily for me, I had all those documents proving where I was going. So what I did was rested the folder with everything, the reservation, the whole thing about the convention, because then we were supposed to actually we were getting an award also. So, my little speech, yada yada blah blah, all of that, all of that, all of that. So everything was on top. So once they open it, when I was put the first stop, even the gentleman was telling me, I know you a hard worker, yada yada. And when he opened the thing, the whole thing fly out and was going all over in the airport floor. But anywho, it was okay. Because he knew, he helped me. I was not um supposed to touch anything inside the suitcase. I had to stand back, and thank God it was just a carry-on. Yeah, if I had checked it in, then they would have searched it in the back. They would have pulled it off and searched it in the back. But with me, it was this carry-on, because for me, I try to make myself as comfortable as possible when I'm traveling. Yeah, man, that's how my slip in, slip out. That's my shoes. No kind of nothing toggle in me. I have to be free and comfortable. And so has my luggage. If it's not a backpack throwing on my back, it's gonna be the tiniest suitcase carry on possible. Mm-mm. One thing I hate to do is to go to carousel and can't find your bag. Then what happens after that? So I try my best not to, try my best. In my younger days, then I would have been packing bag for this, for that, for that, for that. If those things could be shipped, if those things could be shipped, it would be good and well, but not me through no airport. Besides, I don't have the strength. Hey, anyway, so as I was saying, we went through that phase, and that was my first and only experience. When I got to the Dominican Republic, I was taken out the line again and approached by a female, and I was taken out the line again, right in front of everybody, doing crutch search, spotting up, down, underneath breast. I'm like, ew, this is gross. I said, this just like that. I said, this is gross. But then I said, whatever, I'm a Jamaican, so I expect them to be thinking that I am here doing something, something, something. And at that time, you would have paid for visa upon arrival, 10 USD. And because the language barrier, it actually, after she did her search, I said to her, "Where do you pay for the visa?" And she didn't understand what I was saying. There was another form, some other form that I was supposed to fill out too. And I just put the form on the desk and said, "Listen, I'm going to give you my information." I showed her, flash out my ticket, my passport. I said, "Please, you fill it out for me because I don't understand and I can't see." They have some tiny writing, they cram, they're going to try to be cheapest. One tiny little form and the tiniest writing. Listen, well, if she didn't understand sign language that day, she would have. And then she couldn't tend to anybody else for a time because she had to help me to fill out that thing. She had to help me to fill out that thing. So I said, me, all right. I wasn't gonna be, like, for me, if I was a vlogger, like a travel vlogger, I probably would have had to condition my mind to deal with these things, honestly. Um, but I can't really take the hassle. Maybe as I say, I would have had to condition my mind to deal with these things, but can't deal with the hassle. So back to what I was saying. So people are now asking people, to be extremely cautious once you leave the borders, once you leave the United States. You have to be extremely cautious and they're asking people, do not use your Jamaican passport. So Jamaica is a country that people are, it's Jamaicans, and they're actually advising Jamaicans mostly, don't use your Jamaican passport if you go into Jamaica. Get your US if you're a US resident, get your passport and use it because that's what you get it for. So then when you return back to America, you can actually prove that, you have been somewhere and not just, yeah. That you're going to slide it in and they don't see any proof of where you've been. How did you leave the country? I do get it. I get it. And if they really want to give some problems and to minimize the crowd in the country, these are the things that they're going to do. They're going to come at you tough, tough, tough. But, you can't tell one how to run their countries. But it's really crazy to me that somebody would be in your country, contributing to your country, paying your taxes, paying you to stay and do these things, but you still are finding ways to enforce, things. Which anyway, I'm totally for. If you're for my country, be for my country. You use the document, and it is to secure the borders. I get that thing, because anybody could have just come up with some kind of idea and fix up something and come back in and say, yeah, I'm a US citizen. Show me when you leave. I get it. I do get it. Show me when you leave. Show me how you leave. And show me, okay, you're returning. I see that you left on okay, ma'am, how was your trip? Okay, sir. Okay, sir, how was your trip in Jamaica? Did you enjoy Ocho Rios? Da, 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 da. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're no seeing in your book that you went to Jamaica to spend Christmas. I get it. I totally get it. But the part women understand is the extra pressure. The extra pressure? I don't get it. I don't get it because there's some harrowing stories. Oh my God. There's some harrowing stories. And this one story where I see these men in chains on their foot and around their waist and on their hands coming off of the flights in Guantanamo Bay. Oh God. Mighty God of Nazareth. Listen, it's horrifying. It's horrifying. I was also told that during the Obama era, that he actually shared the same sentiments as Trump, but it was on the down low. I heard one vlogger said that during Obama era, it was the most Jamaicans at that time that was deported during the Obama era. I think one time I overheard there was a big whoopla because a lot of people were being deported back to Jamaica. I remember clearly during Obama era, but it was not so highly publicized. It was when the people went home, it was not highly publicized on the American side. When they got home to Jamaica, and probably some just ended up on the streets because where they were, they never had no connections. They no longer had connections and they were on the streets just living like animals. And then it actually triggered bloggers to come to social media and spoke about it. It's really a sad story. But countries will have to do what they have to do, honestly. The part that I don't get though is when like innocent people that should be allowed to follow the process, the you know follow the due process. If I'm putting the words in the right context, to follow the process to be heard, and they're not given a chance because they just scoop them up and cart them off to God he knows where. It was very saddening though, seeing seeing those people chained from their feet and their hands bound. Like I just it touched me differently. I know that I hope that the majority of those people who they're really sending in those areas are the high profile ones, the ones that are wanted, the ones that the Interpol and the this and the that would have been looking for, that committed heinous acts. I hope that those are the ones that are actually sent. I don't know how the stories are, but a reporter was showing that thing. No, there were no words, it was just audio because the noise from the airplane, from the military airplane, was intense. Them something they and they took them there under the cover of darkness. So it was just horrifying. It brought me to another place. um it brought me back to, you remember when they were just creeping up after 911, after 9/11, there were just a lot of things was just so out of place. And seeing those men bound in the chain and from the ankle up to the wrist, it brought me to another place. And I was just praying, silently, that God, you know, whatever it is, let them have some discretion. Those people that are handling these things, they were good people, caring people. They love their job. But then suddenly, at the flick of a button, directions were sent, and suddenly, the good people that used their discretions became like robots, and they have to march to whatever order, whether it is good or bad. They have to march to whatever order that is given to them. Anyway, my people, that was just my 2 cents on this whole situation. So, word has it on the street that you have to be careful whenever you're leaving. Um, if you have an American citizenship, you have to be extremely careful not to be going into anybody else's country using your country of origin. Don't do that. Don't use that document. That is what the word on the street, that is what they're saying, because there's a high chance that you will be interrogated upon your return into the United States of America. Well, they have to do what they have to do, and it makes some sense. It makes some sense. So it makes some sense. It really makes some sense. I don't know if you guys do this based on custom, based on the way how you enter the lines for immigration. I don't know why you go into the country using your own. I don't know. I don't know if it is the time frame. I don't know. I know there are advantages and disadvantages when you are a citizen of a country. So maybe it is on the advantage side that you would use this passport. I've never done it. I've never done it. I have I really have the chance or the choice, but I've never done it. So yeah, I've never done it because I always wonder what would it be like, even though them sister this on my ban, because it is in your passport. Anyway, my people, a blessed love, and I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day, or night. I don't know what time you're watching me, where you're watching me from. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. You know, based on what you're seeing, um, I based on what you're seeing here on this podcast, I truly hope that you would find it encouraging to come back and watch or listen, because some people may be moving around. I trust that you may find it, in your heart to come back and support your sister. All right. Before me go off talking all kind of things, let me just say enjoy the rest of the day, the night, the evening, whatever time that you watch this. Feel blessed. Leave a like, comment, and if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Make sure also to watch the ads. Don't skip them. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.
And you doing the things you do, try to dim the thing that makes me me. I wish you well, I wish you peace. I hope